Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to talk about, was Kingdom Hearts 3 really the biggest disappointment in the Kingdom Hearts franchise? So, today I wanted to also say thank you for 100 subscribers. I know it's not really that much, but thanks so much for 100 subscribers. I didn't think I would ever make it to 100 subscribers, but thank you for 100 subscribers, and for those that watch my videos, thank you for taking your time out and actually watching and listening to me analyze the Kingdom Hearts series. But today we're going to talk about, is Kingdom Hearts 3 the worst Kingdom Hearts game in the franchise? And I would say it isn't the worst, but I can say it's the most disappointing. For a lot of people, and for me as well, I think Remind really made the game a lot better. It's almost been a year since Remind came out. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. Due to the fact that I think the base game on its own without Remind felt a little little overwhelming when it came to them making the game look pretty. And that's fine. Games can be pretty, games can be beautiful. Games can have great graphics and great fighting mechanics and everything. But the thing here with Kingdom Hearts 3 is that it has been a long awaited title to be released for people to play. And I feel as if that people are disappointed because there are many things that weren't really the most pushed in this game. Number one, people said the Disney worlds didn't contribute anything to any of the story, which I was hoping they would, but they kinda really didn't, or actually they didn't at all. The ending of the game feels so much more upbeat than the beginning of the games. Different worlds you travel to. Also, the game has a lot of inconsistency when it comes to the power scaling in the game. um, with a lot of stuff going on, I don't know if Nomura knows that some of his characters have a little bit of a weird power scaling, because like Kairi fought with Sora against Xehanort in Remind, and she actually did something. And then in the cutscene of Melody Memory, she got obliterated in seconds. I don't know if that's because she still believes she's too weak to beat Xehanort, but I don't think she ever would have won against Xehanort anyway. I just feel as if that the consistency with the fan service and all of the hypeness around trying to get more people into the franchise didn't really help the game's case. Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be a joint work between all of the other Kingdom Hearts games in this franchise. Phase 1 as they call it. And I feel as if that Nomura needed more time. He was also working on Final Fantasy VII, but like I made a video on that. That game is not his fault either. Nomura gets a lot of hate for the games that he creates if you see his name in the title, because once Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, the disappointment train for games that Nomura created started to roll very quickly. And I believe that Nomura gets more hate than he deserves when it comes to the things he creates, because I feel as if Nomura is more of a better character designer and overall story builder when it comes to the characters' lives and their falls, better than he is of actually making it look that way in the game. Because if you sit there and play Kingdom Hearts 3 all over again after you beat it and try to analyze it with your brain, it kind of doesn't work. Not like how it did with Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, the problem here is that I think it's because Nomura wanted the game to impress. I feel like Nomura tried too hard to impress and gave us too less. He gave us more quality, but he didn't give enough quantity. See, that's the thing here. The game looks beautiful. The game is beautiful when it comes to many things. But the base game without Remind just isn't what fans were looking for. And I'm not trying to say Kingdom Hearts 3 was bad. I'm saying that I think our expectations were a little higher than what we gained. And I know a lot of people could say, well, your expectations are too high. Well, that's not something I'm going to say to anyone, because expectations can be too high. But the bar for Kingdom Hearts 3 shouldn't have been too high, because Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1 exist. Those two games are founders, and they are the rock that keeps the Kingdom Hearts fan base always talking about how good the story is. Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 358, Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 2, all of those games have so much story in them and so much more to give if you played them and actually paid attention. Now, I know Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be an ending to a saga, but Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't actually feel like an ending to a saga. It feels like a rushed ending. Actually, it just feels like a rushed completion. I know this might sound wrong to say, and I would never want to say a creator never enjoys what they make. But I feel as if that Nomura wanted to move on from the entire Xehanort saga. Because if you look at it now, Xehanort was a character that probably wasn't even thought of back when Kingdom Hearts 1 existed. But the whole organization thing was thought of in Kingdom Hearts 1 if you look at the Clock Tower back in the Wandering Worlds. So the thing here is that maybe Xehanort was a thought of character back then. That's why Ansem looks almost exactly like Xehanort in like their clothing. But the thing here is that I don't believe that Nomura had the best intentions for Xehanort's character. And that's what I mean with the power scaling. It's a little bit funky in Kingdom Hearts 3. It feels as if so many ass pulls were pulled to make the game just end. So many things happen that don't really make sense. I understand Sora always loses his powers to make it seem more dramatic, but we always know at the end Sora's going to gain his power back. And I know Sora might not look as powerful as he did in Kingdom Hearts 2, but Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3 probably outpower scales any of the other stores previously because of the power waking that he has gained. Also, well, I don't think Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora could beat Xehanort, because back when Sora first fought Xemnas, he needed Riku there to defeat Xehanort. Now, and all of people could say Donald and Goofy were there to participate, and they were. But they didn't participate as much as Riku did in Kingdom Hearts 2 when it came to the original battle, due to the fact, well, they don't have Keyblades. Not to say that because they don't have Keyblades, they're not strong. I mean, they don't have Keyblades to the point where they could contribute more than one with a Keyblade. Donald heals and he uses magic. Goofy protects and he does some physical attacks, which is great. That's a perfect balance for Sora, because Sora is a rowdy attacker. Sora has no fighting style. Sora just swings his Keyblade like a maniac. Well, Riku actually has a balanced fighting style. So the thing here is that I feel as if that Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't the worst. I feel as if it's the most disappointing. I hate seeing people say it's the worst in the franchise, because it isn't. It's not the worst, it's just the most disappointing. And for a lot of people, it is the most disappointing. And I'm not hating on the Kingdom Hearts 3 game, because I love the Kingdom Hearts franchise, but a lot of the games lately in the Kingdom Hearts franchise have been very disappointing. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance was very disappointing for a lot of people. Kingdom Hearts 3 is really disappointing for a lot of people, and Melody of Memories is a fun game. It is very, very fun. But the character development for Kairi is really bad. It's really bad. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about. Character development in Kingdom Hearts. Is character development a really bad thing in Kingdom Hearts? Yes, it is very bad. Kingdom Hearts has some of the worst character development, but I love it. I love the game. I like the characters too much to hate them because of who they are. Let me explain this. Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 358, Kingdom Hearts 2 had some, and Birth by Sleep. The character development in those games are pretty spotless, except for Kairi's, because, Kairi gets a lot of, nothing, which, rest in peace, Kairi. But the rest of the characters have some pretty good development, especially Roxas. I'm going to make a video on Roxas later, because I'm not happy with a lot of people that say that Roxas is a bad character, but let's trail off from that. Riku is a great character, Sora is a great character, Aqua is a great character. Those three characters right there are in Naminé. Same for Shion. All of those characters there are some of the best in the franchise when it comes to their emotional stories. Sora's life changed the day when Riku accepted the darkness. And the thing here is that I feel as if that the Kingdom Hearts story has been very consistent once you get out the Disney worlds. But Kingdom Hearts 3's story isn't really the most consistent with the timelines, because I don't understand the things that happen in the game sometimes. And once Remind came in, it fixed a lot, but it didn't fix enough. Because the thing here is that in the base game of Kingdom Hearts 3, you should have been able to play Roxas. You should have been able to play Aqua. You should have been able to play Kairi. I don't know why that had to be behind a paywall. I know it's probably because it's for more fans, for more of the fans that are more committed to the game. But the thing here is that that's not a way to make people more excited for your game. Nomura, we will spend $60 to play Kingdom Hearts 3. I know a lot of people did. I did. But the thing here is that then on top of that, you add another wall for us to get by to do more things. It's not really the best. I think that maybe the base game could have been better if there was more quantity in the game with the quality. Kingdom Hearts 3 took a long time to be released, and the problem here is that it's not the best because fans have been waiting for this game for a very long time. Kingdom Hearts is now at the age of where it can vote. You can now actually vote. That's how old Kingdom Hearts is. But it took so long for Kingdom Hearts 3, and at the end of the day, a lot of people feel like it accomplished nothing. Yay, we defeated Xehanort. The Xehanort saga is over, but the Xehanort saga isn't over. Nomura can't get rid of Xehanort because Xehanort has done too much in the game to be replaced. And I know we're doing this whole Final Fantasy mix, but Final Fantasy has always been in Kingdom Hearts, so I don't know what Nomura is going to do to give us more of a bedazzle. Yeah, we have the Master of Masters, who is the most, let's say, foreshadowed character that we're waiting for the most to see and to fight the foretellers. But the thing here is that, we're going to have to wait till Kingdom Hearts 2022 to get a game to play that. But the thing here is that, Nomura, that's 2 years. Technically 3. We don't count Melody of Memories being created. So, the problem here with that is people are scared that it's going to be another disappointing train. And I don't want that, because the more people that buy the game, the better it's going to be for Nomura to know that he's going the right way. The less people that buy the game, Nomura's just not going to see the sales that he wants to see, and that's going to hurt me. Because the thing here is that once a game starts not making enough money, say goodbye to that franchise. And I'm really worried with a lot of people that played Kingdom Hearts 3 that said they don't want to play Kingdom Hearts anymore because the game ruined everything. They said Kingdom Hearts Dream Stop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3 ruined everything. They ruined the entire franchise itself. And it sucks to hear that because I'm worried. I'm really worried here. I'm worried for this entire IP because I love Kingdom Hearts and I know a lot of YouTubers love it. And this is the stuff I like making videos on. I even play Final Fantasy Brave Exvius just because I wanted Sora. I love Sora as a character, and it hurts me to see that he gets so much hate as a character. Sora gets so much hate because they say that he's just a character with tons of ass pulls, and it hurts because he never was a character like that. It's just Kingdom Hearts 3 made him look like that. The power scaling in Kingdom Hearts 3 is so bad. And that's what makes Sora looks like a bad character. That people now believe that Roxas and Sora are equal. That makes no sense, because if you were to do that, then it would break the logic of the game. I just don't like many of the character developments for many of the power scaling in the characters and how their stories ended in Kingdom Hearts 3. I like the ending between Riku and Ansem. That was pretty emotional in Replica Riku. That was good. I like that. I like that. That's what we want, Nomura. I like actually I don't like Sora's ending with any of the villains. I don't think they were really the most impactful. Maybe Luxwartz is pretty well, and same for Xemnas, but the rest of them aren't really the best. I wanted Sora to react more to the villains that have terrorized his childhood for like the past 3 years, but nothing really came out of it at all. And Sora and Xehanort, Master Xehanort, Old Man Bald Xehanort, didn't have much dialogue together in Kingdom Hearts 3, which a lot of people were disappointed in. Yeah, Nomura, why didn't you give us more dialogue between those two? Like, that man is the reason why Sora's in this mess. Why didn't we get more dialogue? Why does Xemnas have almost more screen time, I'm sorry, than the main villain in Kingdom Hearts? I know it's because Xemnas is hype, but why? Why is Xemnas talking more to Sora? He literally had an entire game to... Xemnas spoke to Sora more in Kingdom Hearts 2 than Xehanort did in Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't understand that. I don't get that. It makes no sense. And that's what I feel as if that the villains, like Organization 13 is one of the reasons why people love Kingdom Hearts. The organization is supposed to be intimidating, and it makes people feel as if that they're dangerous, and that's the point of them. But the problem here is that they felt like nothing. In this game, their power scaling was as bad as Kairi's. I don't understand that. Like, 1 second, Sora and Riku fight Replica Riku, Xigbar, and Ansem. Now, Ansem leaves, so I understand why Xigbar and Replica Riku lost. That was a 2v2, that was a fair fight. But you're going to tell me... So, Saïx pushed back Sora and Kairi with his brute force, and then took down Axel, right? And the thing here is that then Roxas comes in and saves them all from Saïx. So you're telling me that Sora, Axel, and Kairi together couldn't stop Saïx on their own? And then Roxas jumps in and then saves them all? And then Xion helps as well? That's horrible power scaling. That's horrible scaling in general, because that ruins the stakes of the game then. Because everyone's been like, oh, Saïx was strong enough to push back Sora. And, well, Xemnas was there, but Xemnas really didn't do much. And then the thing here is people are going to be like, okay, so Saïx is really powerful. And then Sora runs off and beats Master Xehanort almost technically one-on-one. Yeah, Donald and Goofy were there. And I appreciate those two characters. They are very great characters. Donald and Goofy have never really had any issues with their writing. I think they're the most consistent out of all of the characters, which is the crazy part about it. It's weird. Also, the power scaling between the organization is pretty bad when it comes to actually the game itself. Like, young Xehanort lost like 80% of his powers in Kingdom Hearts 3. What happened to that? I don't understand that one. That's pretty weird. I don't get that. Actually, while we're on the topic, I want to type in Organization 13 and let's look at them. Let's talk about the issue that I'm talking about here with the power scaling. Because when a character is... When you make, let's say, characters fight each other, there's supposed to be a thing called rooting for a character, but if you know a character's automatically going to win, that ruins all the suspense. Also, when you nerf your nerf the villains to the point where there's no suspense, because if you look here in the story, Luxord had 2 health bars. What? A wasted fight. His data battle was good. All the data battles were good. But the thing here is that I know a lot of people said that they didn't want the data battles to be the real fight, which is understandable. But Nomura, if you're switching the difficulty of a fight in the game, that should change the enemy's fighting style. Due to the fact that, well, in Kingdom Hearts 2, Xemnas has the same fighting ability in the data battle as he does in the story. So I don't get that. And that ruins the character dynamic and the character scaling and the character analysis and the character's creation, and then it confuses people because they're like, so this is the original strength of the organization we were fighting in the story? How did we win? It makes you just so frustrated because then it's like all that time I put into thinking that these characters actually had development and winning was for nothing. Because are you really going to tell me straight to my face that what you saw in the data battles in Kingdom Hearts 3, Nomura said it himself that it was their full potential. So you're going to sit here and tell me that that means that Ventus and Aqua and Kairi and Sora and all of them won with just an ease? Because I can tell you something right now. At the end of each of the fight, unless it was the 3 Nort Court, none of them were breathing heavily. Like, that's what I'm trying to say here. None of them had any character development of them being tired. Yeah, against Saïx, but that's because it was supposed to be emotional. That's not really something that's interesting. And Axel got his blade hit with Saïx and he was already down breathing heavily, and then Xemnas came in and then Xemnas was going to kill him, but then Roxas came down, which I don't even know how Roxas got there that quickly, but we're not going to talk about that. Roxas came in, and then Roxas fights against Xemnas and Saïx with Axel and Xion, and they beat Xemnas? That's horrible power scaling because Nomura said himself that Roxas at 50% is 50% of Sora's power. And even at Roxas's max potential, he couldn't beat Xemnas no matter how hard he tries. And if Xemnas was in base. So, and Saïx was there, so I don't get that. And you can't say it's because Axel was there, because Axel was literally getting demolished by Saïx. And you can't say it was Xion because, well, she wasn't tanking like Roxas was doing. So the thing here is that ruins the suspense and that ruins the character development. Because then it just looks like your characters are just strong because they're main characters. That's not how it should have worked, because if this was Kingdom Hearts 1, if this was Kingdom Hearts 2, it wouldn't have worked out that way. Because in Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora struggled a lot to beat in the organization. Even in Chain of Memories, he fought Larxene, and then Larxene kicked him so hard that he fell over after their fight. And she wasn't even that tired. So the thing, but Sora was tired. That shows development. Even Riku in Chain of Memories, when Ansem blocked his sword clash, Riku fell on his back. But after Riku went through Castle Oblivion fighting the other members, when Riku attacked Ansem again and he caught himself the second time they fought, that there shows growth in a character. There was no growth in Kingdom Hearts 3. There was nothing. And that's what a lot of people were upset about. No growth at all. Most of these fights here amounted to as much as the Disney Worlds. Nothing. And that's what also was very disappointing. We didn't even get to see the organization members talk to each other like we did in Kingdom Hearts 2, sitting at a hideout place, all talking to each other in one room, making plans. Like, we didn't even get to see that. Like, that was some of the best stuff people like to see. And it sucks because I want the IP of Kingdom Hearts to last for a long time. But it feels as if that it won't. Because so much has changed in the series that just don't bring the happiness that a lot of people enjoy. These faces here, the main villains that a lot of people like, Xehanort, Ansem, Xemnas, Young Xehanort, Marluxia, Vanitas, Larxene, Replica Riku, they're not coming back. Well, I'm saying that now, and Nomura could retcon it. I don't know. We'll see. But the thing here is that it sucks. It really does. And I'm really worried for Kingdom Hearts 4 because a lot of people don't want to get the game because they said Kingdom Hearts 3 and Melody of Memories and Dream Drop Distance are just not good. They ruined the franchise and ruined the scaling, ruined the development, ruined everything. Well, we'll see. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 was a disappointment, but it wasn't the worst. We'll see how Nomura does things to make it all better. I hope he can fix it and make it all better because I really care about this game and this franchise. And I really want things to go well. Remind is really good because of the data battles. They fix a lot of the content because it gives the people what they wanted to see from the organization in the game. There was no suspense. We all knew what was going to happen. It was sad. But we'll see how things will turn out in the future of Kingdom Hearts in 2022 probably. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for 100 subscribers again. And I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.